I want to show you the difference between a knitted yarn over and a purled yarn over, because it can get a little bit confusing. I just have a swatch of garter stitch here now, but I'm just going to show you the different kinds of yarn overs in the middle of the knitting. So let's knit a little bit and get over to the center. Alright, so let's say we're knitting and the pattern calls for us to do a yarn over, a regular yarn over. So here I am knitting continental style. In that case, I just take the right hand needle and loop it around the back of the yarn like this, and the yarn stays in the back and I keep knitting, right? That's a simple knitted yarn over. If I'm knitting American style, I still have the yarn in the back because I'm knitting. So when it's time to do a yarn over, I bring the yarn around like this, just as if I'm finishing a knit stitch, and back around to the back like that, and keep knitting. So it's this movement, but without inserting your needle into the stitch beforehand. So now we have two yarn overs that we made while we were knitting. So what if you're supposed to do a yarn over and then start purling? Right, what if it says knit one, yarn over, purl one? In that case, your yarn's still in the back. We just knitted one. So do the yarn over, like this, and then move your yarn to the front to purl, like that. Okay? Just moving your yarn to the front will get you ready to purl, but will eliminate the yarn over. Like this, okay? So we have to do the whole yarn over, like that. Then move your yarn like this. And when I say to the front, I mean the front of your work, the front of this left hand needle right here. Now we're ready to do a purl stitch. Like that. Okay, so there was a knit, a yarn over, and a purl. Looking at that American style, this is what it looks like. Alright, let's do it. Our yarn is in the back of the work, behind that right hand needle there. Let's do a regular knit stitch. Now it's time to do a yarn over. Just bring the yarn to the front of the needle. That's also called a yarn front. Alright, and there it is in the back. Now, in order to purl, we need to do this. We need to move the yarn in between the needles to the middle of the work, just like we always do when we're getting ready to purl. I just wanted to make sure I was telling you the right thing. So that's what it looks like. Don't worry, that's not actually two. See, watch, we'll do a purl stitch and you'll be able to see. The yarn's in the front of the work. It's time to purl. And there's our purl stitch. I'll just move this to the back so you can see it. There's our knit stitch and purl stitch with one yarn over, a knit purl stitch with one yarn over in between. I'm just going to show you that one more time. Knit stitch, yarn over. Now bring the yarn to the front to purl. This is why I think continental knitting is a little bit easier. This is one of the reasons, because switching from knitting to purling is a lot simpler. You don't have to do so many hand movements and moving the yarn so much. Let's knit that last stitch and then look and see what we have. There's our yarn over correctly. So now, what if you are starting out purling and need to do a yarn over? Let's purl a few stitches. Let's get our yarn to the front like that. We'll just purl some stitches right here. Okay, and it's time to do a yarn over. Our yarn is already in front. This is continental style. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to loop this knitting needle around the back and bring the yarn back to the front so it looks like that. And then continue to purl. Like that. So, purl, yarn over, and back to the front and continue to purl. So what if we need to do a purl stitch? Let's see, and that was a purl stitch right there. A purl stitch, a yarn over, and then begin to knit, right? Continental style, this would be yarn over, and just leave your knitting in the back. Leave your yarn in the back like that. And get ready to knit. Like that. Let me show you that one more time. We'll do a purl stitch, a yarn over, and leave the yarn in the back just like that. Just one time. And knit. Leaving the yarn behind that left hand needle. So if you're knitting American style or purling American style, let's move the yarn to the front and switch hands. Let's purl that first stitch. Like that. Now it's time to do a yarn over. The yarn comes around and back to the front, just like that. And then purl again. Let me move the yarn just to the back so you can see what happened. So there's our yarn over right there that we made. If you want to knit after you finish purling, there was our purl stitch, or here we can purl one more. So let's do a purl stitch, a yarn over, yarn goes this way around, and oh, and it stays in the back. So basically it just comes like this, right? This is what you want to avoid doing. Let's do a knit stitch. So what you want to avoid doing when you're switching from knitting to purling and you don't want to do a yarn over. If you see that, that's why. So if you're switching from purling to knitting, right, purl, knit, and you come around this way to switch, you're going to be doing a yarn over in between, which in this case is what we want. Let's see, we're knitting now. That's what we want.